create IPA files for the iOS platforms. This IPA file, once you create the application, then you can bundle all those things, all the codes, all the plugins, and you can create this IPA file, and you can provide this IPA file to that your DevOps team or some they will deploy this to those app center and that Apple app center and that app store there, and then later people can download that and use that. So we'll just see, right? So here, I have created that the buttons application, the last application which I'm going to create that IPA file. I'm going to tell you the steps. Okay, so for that, so before that, there are some things which you have to do it, so these are the prerequisites, you should have an Apple Enterprise Developer Certificate. You should have provisioning profile, the certificate, and your code, mobile application code. Okay, and you should have also that developer, Apple developer, that ID created. Okay, which you will do all those things and installation, creation of the application through that ID. So these are the prerequisite, okay, Apple Enterprise Developer Certificate, Apple Enterprise Developer Provisioning Profile. Okay, so what will happen, there are two things. One is provisioning profile, and there is enterprise certificate. So these are the certificate you have to ask to your team, whoever the client, you have to ask them to provide these certificates. So you have to this one, right? This provisioning there is a certificate, this mobile provisioning, right? So you can directly open that Xcode and you can, I will tell you how to do that. So you can directly install there in that Xcode, and this certificate, this P2L, right, enterprise certificate, you can just right click and install that, and it will automatically install that, and it will ask you also the password, right? So this password you have to ask whoever providing that those certificate from them. Okay, so those are the password you have to ask them, because it will ask you password once you try to install. So these are the these two certificate you have to ask them this, right? And if you see the install Apple Enterprise Developer Certificate, this step only required for that IPA file. Okay, yeah, that's what I told, right? So these are the certificate you have to install, right? So let's go to that my code, and we will directly see how we create that IPA file. Okay, so I'm just going to open iOS. Okay, so I will show you that open cap, any cap, open iOS. Okay, so it is going that open Xcode. From there we will create that, and yes, obviously you require that Xcode for that creation of this IPA. If you, that is the default, the assumption you should have that Xcode installed on your system. So here Xcode is opening. So now you can see that Xcode open that, we would open it open all those up, the file out, bundle all those, the source code which we have written for that buttons, that particular application, and it is here, right? So first, if you have to click on this particular app folder, whatever the folder, here it is app, it can be with different name, so you have to just click on that. So there is a tab. If you see this signing and capability, right, just click on this, right? So here you have to here you have to just just select this checkbox. It is automatically, this is automatically, right? This is automatically, just click on this checkbox. Okay, so here, as I told you, right, you can import that, the provisioning profile, right? You can just import file, and you can do that. Okay, you can click on the import, and you can import the provisioning profile directly here. So you can import it here. Okay, so you just click and select that profile, all those things, it will take it automatically. Okay, so once you're done with that, right, and that next step will be select those, you just select this, go to this simulator thing, and any iOS device, right, just select this thing, because we are going to assume that it can be any device iOS, right? So that you have to select this any iOS device. Okay, don't select any specific simulator. So this just select any iOS device, and now the next thing, like, you have to do it, just go to this product menu, and there is a build, right? You see this build, just click on this build, right? If you have to just click build, which you have done it, once build is done, you have to archive. Okay, so you have to, that once your archive is successful, you have to click on export. That export, you have to export your IPA file, and just select enterprise, and it will ask you password. Sometime it will ask you password, you have to provide those password, the system password, and when it later on you can just export that. This you can see at the last, right? You can export this thing, right? This, if you, I'm just going to maximize this, right? So you have to export this, it will look like this, so you export this on your local system, and this will create that IPA file, and then later on you can provide this IPA file to anyone who, like your DevOps team or some other team, and they will deploy it to the app store. Okay, from there the different stakeholders will download and use that. So this is how, like, we can create IPA file in iOS. So thanks for listening. If you like, then please subscribe, and thank you again.